Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the From the Back Tees podcast, coming to you from the Michigan Sports Entertainment Platform. I'm your co-host, Jerry Lou, and joined with me, as always, is our creator, founder, intrepid leader, other co-host, Zachary Pencer. Zach, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm all right. Don't nobody worry about me. So we're going to try and ease right into this casual podcasting routine for everybody. Going to give you a little bit of the players recap. We're going to look at the Valspar preview, maybe talk a little Masters. Got a lot of your questions. We got some random stuff that we saw from the tournament that was pretty funny that we'd like to possibly bring up. But first and foremost, Zach, how the heck are you? Have you been golfing at all?
So yeah, I've been doing pretty well. I've been in Florida for the last 2 weeks, finally back in the cold now though. Got my first eagle. That was big news.
Eagle on. Now, this wasn't like at a putt-putt course or like,
No, this
like, or
was,
as we call it down in the States, a pitch and putt. Because if I
let
get
it
my
be
first hole
known.
in one on a 45-yard hole, I don't know how I can share
Yeah, let it be known, first of all, that I'm an excellent mini putter. I'm willing to take on anyone for whatever stakes.
that.
Mini putt's my game. So yeah, it was on the 7th hole at the Breakers course in Palm Beach. Hit a drive slightly into the rough. Then from 140 out, punched it up there. Rolled, hit the
What?
slope. And then what was nice about it didn't take any lucky bounces. It sort of just slowed down and then plopped right in.
Did you get to see it go in?
Yeah, sort of. Well, I'm like
Oh,
half
that's.
blind, but
Oh, well, but you could tell when the pill disappeared
yeah, I
that it
figured
was.
it must have gone in.
Well, that's good stuff. Nice, nice. That's certainly. I don't know too many people like in my circles. Like usually, if we hole out, myself not included, it's like from 100 yards or something. Like I think I have one from 105. I mean, I've been, God forbid, I've been playing golf 30 years. I have a handful of eagles, but most of them are just from putting on like stupid fours or things like that. But holing out, I can't beat you, but I can like half match you with I've holed out twice. Both were from 105 yards. Once was for a 3 on a par 5, first hole at the course I worked at in Maryland, and the second was like on the 12th hole at that same course. It was in the rain. I remember losing my tee shot or my second shot, so I took a drop, hit uphill, couldn't find my ball, but I checked the cup and I was in the hole for a 5. Whatever got me there, I hold out for a bogey. It wasn't an eagle. You're right, but I thought you told me at first when you texted me it was 165. I was getting.
It
My
was
dick
like
was almost getting hard. I
145 to
mean,
160. No exact measurement. I'm not good enough that I could tell.
now to be fair, well, this was in America. I was going to say, don't be trying to pull meters on me. Hey,
Yeah, no meters. Even out in
mm.
Canada, we don't seem to use meters, even though in Europe they do on their tournaments. But for us, like the Canadian Open, it's all in yards.
Well, I've always said, I mean, as we were just chatting before the show, how much I appreciate the metric system for its roundness and how it's Latin. And if you can speak Latin, you can pretty much count. But also, there's something not sexy about hitting the 280-meter tee shot as opposed to hitting one through 300.
God
There's just
bless the
a
Queen for
completely,
her.
yeah, there's definitely a different ring to it than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you eligible to play golf at all? Like, when does golf season start in Montreal for you? Because Wisconsin, it was 37 degrees, no snow on the ground, and they were happy to be out there. I mean, I'll admit, I'm looking out my garage door, and it's 75, 77 degrees here on the Oregon coast. I mean, a little inland, which is insanity. It's gorgeous. I'm sunburned right now.
Yeah, that's a joke. Hopefully, in a couple months, we're able to tee it up here. Definitely not in March or April.
Now, Zach, let me ask you this. This could be our Canadian fact of the week. Is there a summer north of the American border?
Fun fact of the week? Not really. We have like a good week of summer. We have a great summer. It's a
A
great
good
time,
week.
but
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's not fair. I don't know where I could summon a globe right now, but in terms of latitude, I can think of places in Montana that get plenty warm and have at least a full summer. I
no, we don't
mean,
have a full summer.
well, by full summer, I mean 3 months. Even when I lived in Colorado, I'd say like, yeah, you had a 1 month of like not guaranteed, but very pristine weather. I mean, yeah, everyone said, yeah, it can snow on 4th of July. I'm like, yes, it can. At 8,000 feet, it can do anything.
Yeah,
But
no, in all honesty, we have at least a month of good summer. Our summers are great, though. It gets crazy hot, too. People don't realize that,
interesting.
which is very
Well,
extreme temperatures here.
that's something I appreciate around this neck of the woods is during the summertime when we get longer hours, like longer daylight hours, it can stay light up to like 9 p.m. Piece of cake. I mean that, and you can squeeze so much golf in And I mean, everyone's out there on the cliffs at the ocean, just trying to like, oh man, it's great.
Yeah, with daylight savings.
Well, yeah, which is kicked in now for
Quick
us.
question: does
So,
anyone know how that works? Do you have any idea how daylight savings works?
I'm sure Gino, my old accountant teacher at the golf academy, God bless you, Gino, he would always do a random trivia to start the day. And that seems like something that he would have brought up or I've heard a couple times before, but it's like craps at a casino. I've learned how to play craps 5 different times and I've forgotten 5 different times. Like
We
something's just
need
not
Gino
sticking.
on.
So,
We need to call Gino up and get him to explain it to us.
well, I'm sure it's just a Google search away, but like I said, I'm keeping the phone over there. I'm doing this old fashioned and
But yeah, we
whatnot. So,
can't do that. If we get to that, then we're gonna lose this whole stream.
So yeah, well, good on you for playing some golf. Hopefully, you'll get to play some golf in Canada. I mean, were you visiting family down in Florida? What were
Yeah,
you doing down there on vacation?
we have a family. We have a house down there, so we're there fairly often.
Okay, because you since we've been acquainted, you've been there before.
Yeah,
So
we're there
I was
pretty
like,
often.
this guy's been to Florida more times than I have in my lifetime, and he's done it in like 3 months.
It's not too
Good
far
grief.
for us. 3 hour
That's
flight.
that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, sadly, I am not playing very much golf. I'll be anticlimactic to your deuce there. Um, I do have a tournament I'm playing in on Monday the 25th at Bandon Crossing, just south of town. Not affiliated with the resort, but a great track that maybe another day I can rant about. But it's me and some friends or some type of format. I don't know. I got wrangled into it. I went to the range a couple days ago, hit 20 balls with like a 8 iron, 6 iron, 4 iron. Was so disgusted. I just took my clubs and left. I just like it's just not. I got 100 swing thoughts and they're all really good, and I can't remember what number one was, and I can't pull the GD trigger.
I'm sure you're
So
pretty good. So is this like a serious tournament or like more
I'm
like a
sure it's not.
charity event?
I'm sure it's. I don't. This isn't a technical term, but it's like probably like one of those like scramble format F off tournaments put on by the fire department or something with like a pig roast and like all you can drink beer and stuff
Okay,
like
yeah.
that. It's well, yeah, it's fun. Hey, listen, I that I can remember. I've only been drunk on the golf course twice, and one was actually just this last Christmas,
And
and
this will
it's
be
not
the third.
pretty. No. Well, see, like I said, like I remember, Zach, but the 2 times I remember distinctly where I got loaded and my game started off good and went to pot, I was not happy with myself, especially when you're paying ballpark effing prices at the golf course for a beer. They consider Tecate like Cristal. I mean, it's not fair.
Yeah, so you only remember two. That's
I specifically remember playing in a golf tournament ironically, the course I wound up becoming an assistant pro at out in Maryland, where Rick Dempsey, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame, I don't think so, but a Baltimore Orioles catcher for many years. He he's just a local, like kind of like a Ron Burgundy anchorman type in Baltimore, just kind of like local. He just drinks before games, sportscaster, whatever, owns car dealerships. And I remember we were playing his tournament. Scramble format, and in my team, I was an 18 handicap, and I was usually the ringer. Like I was playing with 330 handicaps. It wasn't a net event. These guys are just awful. We just like get a good day off of work when we're in the service. So essentially, long story boring. I helped birdie. We birdied the first 2 holes using my drives, my approaches, my putts. Like my approaches were 2 feet to the hole on each, and I'm not exactly an accurate player. I'm kind of a scrambler, Seve style, and I proceeded to take my flask, which I remember this flask for some reason was a tall flask, and it was full of scotch, as you know me. And I find a big cup of ice and I pour the whole MFer on top of the ice. And within a hole and a half, that thing was gone. But from
big
the
Scotch guy.
after those first 2 holes, they did not use any of my shots. Rick Dempsey wound up joining up with us and playing with our group. And I was like nervous and drunk and like topping the ball and like straight swinging out. And it was bad.
Yeah, I don't know how you could play golf drunk. It's hard enough sober.
Well, and then over this last Christmas, when I was down in Southern California, I was playing golf and I was warming up for a while, having a couple cocktails. And then by the time we teed off on the front nine, I was playing good and I was cruising. And I just kept drinking. And then something happened around at the 10th or 11th hole and like a brick fell out of the bottom of the foundation. And like, things got so bad. I got so confused. I almost just quit the rest of the round because I'm like, things were going good. And now I'm concerned about my state of golf. Like
Yeah, I don't know how
something.
you could play, even like tipsy.
Well, but that was like I said, I remembered, which actually got me angry, which didn't help. So I'm like, why don't I just? How about I just don't drink on the golf course? You know, just you keep smoking weed. That's fine with me. So,
So shall we get to
anywho,
the recap
well,
of the
actually,
events that
there was
happened?
some before. Well, I mean, I guess this is part of the recap. I mean, there was a lot of funny things that happened. We can get to that, but we got Rory McIlroy winning. Now, I didn't look at the stats, and I'm not going to say like, look, he finally learned how to putt and blah 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 or whatever, and look, he was going to win. Between Rory and Xander Schauffele, I'm the one sitting back going, shh, these guys are going to win a lot this year. Just shh, like I'm not picking them, but it's interesting that they said DJ wasn't putting very good either. And from what I saw, I didn't get to see. There was so much the camera could pick up. Everyone was bitching about not seeing this, that. They couldn't see Pepperell. I'm like, there's 18 things going on at once, but DJ shot 69, 68, 69, 69.
Yeah, near
It
perfect
was,
score.
yeah, you saw that same tweet from No Laying Up. That was clever. But to think it's like he broke 70 for 4 rounds. And yeah, he got like a T3 or something. I mean, it's just, well, he finished 13 under, and Rory was 16. Jimmy Furyk was at 15, and Pepperell and Vegas were at 14. So he got a T5 because there were a lot of guys at 13 under. He got a T5 for playing really boring golf. He played the same way, almost the way Rory McIlroy played in the Open Championship last year when I said he kind of effed off to second place. Like he kind of stumbled around and didn't do anything great, except he struck the ball tremendously. Whatever. I mean,
Yeah, so DJ actually he finished 66th for the week in putting, which is the number one player in the world. Not great, so it's, like you said, it's pretty crazy that he finished up there in fifth, missing all
well,
those short putts.
I think that definitely goes to the testament of his ball striking. And between him and Rory McIlroy, I know this isn't a fresh take or whatever. I've heard other guys say it, but when it comes to who golfs the ball best, I mean, you know who wasn't too fond of putting? Ben Hogan. You know who was also the best iron striker of all time? Ben Hogan. Like he won a lot because he didn't hit it too far from the pin. And DJ is a machine, and Rory is like a souped up sports car. Like these two guys are just performance. It's amazing. I
Yeah,
love
if
when those
Rory was
guys are
able to
on.
putt,
Nobody
he would have ran away with this thing. Either
true,
one of them.
but check it out. He's finally, whether it's osmosis or just bubbling over, whatever. He's finally won, like putting good, bad, indifferent, whatever. He's in the winner's circle. So part of me is kind of eyeballing Augusta a little bit, going thinking to myself, if he keeps his laces tightened and can actually start. I don't want to keep saying if only Rory can putt because that's the only thing that I'm bringing up about him. He's won now, and everyone is giving him hand jobs left and right. I mean, everyone just calm down. Everyone's like swooning over Rory again. It's just like, really? It's man's 29 years old, okay? He's not even in his 30s. He's going to win more majors, mark my words. I actually asked the kid at the Caddy Shack today. I gave him a whole Tiger question saying, how many majors is Tiger going to win from here on out? And he said one. I said, that's a pretty good answer. How many more majors is Rory going to win? And he kind of flinched, and I said, he's going to win more than one major.
I think so.
His career is not even close to done. He's a tremendous athlete. Despite the fact he's only 5'9", I don't know. I mean,
yeah, no, it's I sort of think he could start dominating some of these events. Everyone was so worried without him winning. Even this one, like you sort of said, he didn't even putt great, and he still beat all the best players in the world. All the
well,
guys behind him, besides DJ, gained like 5 or 6 strokes putting, and he's there even for the week.
Well, you can take a minute, but tell me what Rory was for the week, putting wise. What did he rank?
So he finished 59th. He gained like
Oh,
0.05 strokes gained
ugh,
compared to Jim Furyk, who gained 4.5.
Well, that was yeah. Jim does this every now and again. Didn't I tell you guys over Twitter he's giving me fits, and then next thing you know, he was like in the clubhouse at 15 under, and I just like raised the Furyk flag. I'm like, go,
Yeah,
go.
and Pepperell gained 5.2. Vegas gained over 5, and then you have DJ and Rory sandwiching them in all
It's
with 0 strokes gained putting.
so so maybe we could look at it like, so long as Rory doesn't putt bad, he can win.
Yeah,
I mean, who cares? He won the tournament. I
he has
mean,
to putt average.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, and that's what makes me think like these guys. Why I like those two in particular for a lot of things. They're so dialed into their contact. They're so dialed into their striking and their game that it's just. I would say throw peak Tiger into the mix. I mean, who? I don't know. These guys are just like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I watch these guys. Watching Phil play in person is a lot of fun because he hits the ball with tremendous action, and you can hear it. And another one is Jonathan Vegas. Ironically enough, I saw him at the Farmers a couple years ago, and distinctly, he was playing with Phil Mickelson in the same group, but distinctly enough, Jonathan Vegas's uh, exit velocity off his irons was faster and higher than anybody else out there. And I didn't know what that really added up to, but I was just like, wow, he's really hitting the ball differently. Maybe better. I don't know. He's hitting it. I mean, he only has a handful of wins, and they're mostly those events that are going on during majors. But
yeah, or the off season. But now they're
yeah,
saying all
yeah,
that
kind of that
swing
too.
speed's a big thing.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, but it was a
But
great event. There were so many big names all at the top.
well, not to. We have to address that. I almost put a. It was Jerry Lou's lock of the week when I said the winner was not going to be under par or double digits, and
Yeah,
I was on Friday at lunch, which was noon around the West Coast. I was dabbing my brow, like because I had told a lot of other people at the shack that the winning score was going to be like 9 under or something, and a lot of people bought it. A lot of people bought it.
yeah,
I
you're
was
only off
so
by 15 guys.
good lord. Only well, yeah, double digits on the guys that was off. Thank you. I mean, it's the players definitely reinvigorated how much I appreciate that tournament, how much I like the course because of what we saw. I mean, the whole back to back of Bay Hill and Sawgrass is always a lot of fun, regardless of how tired we are of the course. But Sawgrass plays with no distinct advantage to any player whatsoever. So
Yeah, it was a
it's that.
surprise too. I was sort of rooting for Furyk there at the end to win one. Would have made for a good story, even though I picked Rory. So now you know. Tune
I
in
mean,
for winning picks.
and Furyk probably, most definitely, this probably sounds stupid for me hesitating on it. A Hall of Fame golfer for sure. I know he only has one major, but he's got a lot of wins,
I
a
think
lot
he
of
has
career earnings. But
17 wins.
yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. I heard the benchmark these days is you got like not necessarily you have to have a major, but 10 PJ Tour wins. Like if you have 10 PJ Tour, not 10 worldwide career victory, 10 PJ Tour wins was like the benchmark for potential Hall of Famer. So
Yeah.
guys like Brandt Snedeker could be a Hall of Famer. You would put Ricky Fowler in the Hall of Fame, wouldn't you? And that guy hadn't done
No, if
jack.
Ricky doesn't win a major, I'm not putting him in.
But in term, what if Arnold Palmer never won a major and he just luckily happened to grow the game like he did?
Him, I would put
I
in.
like
I was looking up guys in the Hall of Fame. Do you know George W. Bush is in the Golf Hall of Fame?
W or Herbert Walker.
The W.
I did not. I was not aware. I'm giving you my Dick Cheney. I was not aware of that.
I don't
Does
understand
it
it,
say
so.
why? Does it say on his bust like what he did or whatever?
No, it's
Because
just on
I mean,
Wikipedia unless someone was messing with me.
oh Jesus, Pete, come on. Wikipedia says Daniel Tosh's middle name is Schmegma.
Come on. I trust everything written on
That's a true
Wikipedia.
story about Daniel Tosh's page. No, but what I'm saying is like guys like Ricky, in terms of his positivity, excuse me, or his appeal, or his just like the attention that he gets, or how you grow the game, or whatever. I mean, hashtag grow the game. I'm sorry, we're getting off topic about the old like 10 wins gets you Jim Furyk. It would have been really cool to have a players championship on his resume. It seems like a lot of players have one of those. We don't have too many multiple winners of those. I did look it up. It was just a handful of guys at two apiece,
Yeah.
mostly things like that. But I could be grossly wrong about that as well. A great part about this tournament and a great part about this recap is there was hijinks galore in terms of everything from John Rahm and his caddy's little conversation to what I want to talk about first. That guy, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't remember, and he's nobody, and I'm not going to promote nobody for no reason till I get famous first. But the guy with the Tiger Woods mugshot shirt,
Absolutely amazing.
that took some onions to wear. Like I like to think I don't want to say ballsy, I'll say brazen because that's like half ballsy, half stupid. Just like get a reaction, have fun. I don't even know if I would do that. Like I
Yeah, so
respect
for
and
those
like
who didn't
Tiger now.
see
I don't
it,
know if that
I
would.
guess,
Oh,
for those who didn't see it, some guy showed up. I think was it Tiger coming out for the first hole, or was he making the turn at 9? I don't even
I have
know.
no idea what hole it
He was
was. I
wearing
just
a white shirt with a picture of Tiger's mugshot on it. Tiger looked at him,
the one I
clearly
said he
saw the
looks like a
shirt.
jack o' lantern.
Yeah, Tiger
God,
saw it, clearly saw the shirt, and then started giggling. Like you could tell he was trying to hold in a laugh, and this guy went at it. He knew.
That's the best part. I mean, because I feel like Tiger has every right to have the guy excused or like to punch him out right there. And I've been to these golf tournaments before. I mean, that guy, it's not like it wasn't a collared shirt. It was a t-shirt. It was untucked. I bet he was drunk. He was yelling at Tiger to see. So who knows if he'd been following him? I don't think so. But ultimately, I once I saw Tiger's reaction, I was overjoyed because I'm like, oh, Tiger's not upset. In fact, I don't want to say he was tickled, but it's like he knew he was trying to focus on the golf tournament. He knew he didn't have time to come up with a comeback, but it was
It
just
was nice to see that. That
he was trying to hide that grin so much, and he was, I don't know if he was giggling, but he was definitely like hiding a big smile.
yeah, some people might be mad that he's not as in the zone, but yeah, I feel like it's sort of nice to see him like that. Did you see his thing with Kevin Na also when he grabbed the ball out of
Oh,
the hole
that
right away?
was,
So
I didn't, first of all, I didn't know it was Kevin Na because he was wearing a Callaway hat. I need to keep up with the times, but that was tremendous because I kept seeing the end of that clip where Tiger was jumping in and getting the ball, and I'm like, the hell's that about? What's he doing over there?
yeah, he's
But
having a
Kevin
good
Na,
time.
I've always liked Kevin Na. That guy's a smooth criminal out there. If he didn't hit the ball so low and so short to average off the tee, I would pick him to win a lot more at the majors
Yeah,
than
he
I
won
do.
last year some event. I forget which one it was, but that was
Yeah, but
nice seeing him win.
he also took a 17 on a hole.
That was great. It's an all-time YouTube video.
Oh man, I got to rewatch that honestly. So the mugshot shirt, gosh, oh god, that's I still don't think I could. Even if I knew it'd get that reaction, I still don't think I would do that. I have enough couth and respect to not do.
Yeah,
Oh man, and I'm like I said, what did Hunter S. Thompson say? It's like I'm not a terrible person, multiple felon perhaps, but nobody dangerous. It's just like yeah, I'm not a bad guy. I don't think I'm a good guy, but I'm not a bad guy. So, and I wouldn't do that.
yeah. I don't know. That's at least he took it well, Tiger.
Oh, that was beautiful. So evidently on the 11th hole, John Rahm and his caddy got into a little situation. Give me the bullet points leading up to their
Yeah,
conversation
so
and what
Rahm
was
came
included
into
in the
the 11th,
conversation.
the par five. I think he was in the lead by one shot at that point over Fleetwood and McIlroy, and Fleetwood hit his second shot into the water. Rahm is in like these like little rocks. It looked like a bunker, but it was actually these tiny little rocks below a tree. And his caddy's telling him, "No, lay up, lay up. This must have drove you crazy." And Rahm's going, "No, I'm telling you, I could make it. One swing, dead center of the water, not even close."
There was John Rahm had some. There was some debate, which I wish I could hear more. I don't know if that's his regular caddy or whatever. But th- he said something about he didn't like the line to the layup, like the way the line in the sand
Yeah,
was
he
going
wanted
more
it to
toward.
be flat.
And I'm right, and I'm saying Line, and I'm saying Lie. I mean, he was using both those in the correct verbiage there, and it's so weird that you would. That's why I wish like there was a camera on it or something because I want to see his situation as let's call it, because he essentially was electing to go for it as opposed to laying up, and then I first saw it on Twitter and it was like it was a field day and a parade on Twitter because I'm promoting everything, all things caddies out there, and the whole video was saying like, do you see how his caddy had to essentially like suck it up or like no matter how he wanted to tell him this or whatever, and I thought it's obviously different on tour. These guys are professional athletes. Each shot is hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially at the players,
Yeah,
and I get what he was saying, but as I've already said on the record before, I've only insisted a golfer hit a club once where it was just one of those things where it's like, no, I'm not giving you your 7-iron. Here's your 8-iron because this is the club you need to hit. If I say somebody here hit 3-wood, he's like, no, I want to hit driver. I'll toss him the driver and be like, yeah, enjoy. It's I'm not saying your funeral. I'm just saying you do what you want to do. It's
yeah, I
different
guess.
on tour, obviously. These guys are taking it far more seriously. But I tweeted overall because I saw the video and I just retweeted it and I said every single one of us caddies goes through this once every 18 holes with your golfer, whether you are a golfer and you are getting along or you're not, or you're with them for 4 days or one day. This usually happens about once where like the golfer will just say something and push their position. And then you saw the caddy, he just kind of like shook his head and closed his book, went, okay. It's just like, you just got to sit back and be like, your funeral, or I mean, whatever.
Yeah, you got to do what Phil did. It might have been like 5 years ago or something, where his caddy told him, Bones told him to take a certain club or to take a certain line at the hole, and he just went
Mhm.
right over it, over the trees, and then after he hit it, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't want to tell you."
Yeah, but I do distinctly remember that I forget which hole it was at Augusta, but it was the final round, 2004 Masters, the one where Phil won his first major. I remember sitting and watching every single shot of that round, and the camera was mostly on Phil and a little on Jeff Maggard, I think. But anyways, it was. I remember it was the second hole was the par five, fourth hole was the par three, so it had to be the third hole. I think very short par four. I'm pretty sure like 340 yards or something. And Phil had his hand on the driver. He wanted to hit the driver, and somebody said like, "Oh, let's go down to the third tee where we can hear Bones pleading with Phil again." And essentially, we normally never got an insight to this, but it was the first time I ever heard them like interacting. Like they finally got a microphone like right up one of their butts or something, and it was Bones pleading with Phil, saying, "No, just hit the 2-iron. Just put the 2-iron right up the right side. Just please." And he's looking at Bones, and Phil's just like looking up the fairway, kind of like a kid seeing the ice cream truck come, and he can't tell. He's like blinking at it, like, "Oh." And he's just like, and he's got his hand on the driver, and Bones is sitting there just. Bones looks like he's about to quit Romeo style, tin cup wise, like where he's just like, hit the 2-iron. Will you please just hit the 2-iron? Phil winds up hitting the 2-iron and then like to 120 yards, and which was his number all day. Every single wedge he had was from 120 yards, and he was throwing beautiful cut darts. They were just amazing. But to be fair, their whole relationship leading up to that, not saying it was a turning point or whatever, Phil never did what Bones ever recommended. Not saying Bones always suggested a layup or whatever, but Bones would give his input and Phil would just say nope and grab the driver and go for it. Like Bones has never had to plead because he knew he would never get listened to. And there they were at the final round of the Masters, and Phil's sitting there. I'm not gonna say it was because of Bones that he won, but Phil was sitting there just staring up ahead, like in the light, like I got 16 holes left, I got a 1-shot lead or whatever it was, and he kept marching, and Bones is sitting there like trying to snap out of it and be like, "Hey, you've hit the 2-iron 220 really good. That'll leave you 120 out, which is our number. Will you please just look at me? Look at me." I mean,
That's life of a caddy.
it's and like I said, I've only done that to one person, and looking back, it was a very average loop to begin with. Like it wouldn't have. If he would have hit 7-iron, I probably would have muttered to somebody in the group as I'm walking away, like just be like, "Okay, we're gonna cook it over," or just whatever. But or hope he chunks it so we're the right distance or something like that. But
And then another thing I
so
noticed, did you see in the third round Furyk when he hit from on the 18th with his feet on the wood?
I like to compare his approaches on number 18, even though that one where his feet were on the wood didn't reach the green. He, I wish I could get a side by side right now of the video because on the fourth round when he hit his wedge in 18, he was marching it off like he was
Yeah,
walking it in. And then I immediately had a flashback when he was hitting the ball with his feet teetering. I'm like, oh, he marched it off the same way. Like the second he hit the ball, he was running after it.
yeah. So for that, what I don't get is at that point he's like well in contention to win. He ended up losing by one shot, and on that one shot, he decided to lay up with his feet on the wood. If I'm him, these guys are playing for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's on the last hole. Just hit it normally. Worst case scenario, you fall in the water. You make for good TV.
I'm glad he
100% I hit it the same way. If I fall in, I fall in.
if any, there's a few guys standing there with their swings that shouldn't be swinging near the water, like John Daly. You know, DJ comes to mind. You know, some of those big faster swingers, Jesper Parnevik or whatever. Jim Furyk is a swing I wouldn't trust around like the kiddie pool.
Yeah, but who cares? He falls in the water. He falls in. It's the
Look, I
last
get it. I
hole.
mean, I don't know. He might be like a cat. He hates water. That's very
This
interesting.
is so
Part of
much
that, I
money
really
they're playing for. He lost a
well,
stroke. One shot is worth like at least
fair.
$100,000.
Fair. No, that's very, very valid. And I wasn't really thinking about that until now in terms of it's like, oh yeah, you're right. He wound up finishing second place by one shot, so that could have cost him. But that's also saying that Steve Bartman cost the Cubs the World Series when it wasn't the
No,
17 things
exactly.
that
Even if
happened in
it
the game and
didn't
a half
cost him the
afterwards.
win, say it
Well, all
cost
that
him
being said,
10th to
though,
ninth.
I'm not going to talk to you like a guy who's teetered on that same wall or any wall over water and said it's easy, man up, or it's hard, don't worry about it. I get where you're coming from, but I've watched enough golf blooper videos of people falling in the water where all you have to do is just focus too much on your swing and transferring your weight. Like you see all those. I mean, I know this is a little different, but you've seen all those videos of people golfing on ice.
Okay,
It
yeah.
never works out because when you transition your weight, one foot slips every time. And I know he's sitting there on the edge of wood. All I kept thinking to myself is, he hits this good. He's going to be hopefully bouncing on one leg and the other leg's in midair if he hits this the
That
right
would
way.
have been
And
hilarious.
I honestly thought he was going to take a drop. The way he was just sitting there, it was agonizing watching him that third round. I
I was
mean,
praying he went in. It would have made for such good TV. I would have done it for the
you're
people.
right.
I would have hit it, not fallen in, then like faked fall in.
I bet. Oh please,
Just for
this
the
isn't the
people.
Nabisco. This isn't the LPGA Craft Nabisco. And I bet you're the guy who watches NASCAR for the crashes, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. What else? What else do you watch NASCAR for? A left turn?
Well, to be fair, I don't watch for the crashes, but I don't watch at all. I just I'm too much of when it comes to the sport. It's like, hey, what's the point of the game? Not effing around. I mean, yeah, I like bloopers or whatnot, but I mean, that I'm not saying that wouldn't have been good TV. That would have been great
Oh,
TV.
the
But I
best.
was more so. I was actually nervous for him. I was just like, no, Jimmy, get off the wall. Take. I was hoping he took a drop. I was really wanting to take a
He
drop
is a bit older. He
or
might have
turn
hurt
over.
himself.
What if Jim Furyk tried to swing the way he swings left-handed, like he turns the club over, gets that little octopus loop going there?
Yeah, DJ would have done it. You see him hit lefty.
Not too bad. It's not the same as the way he swings powerfully from the right side, but yeah, he's I saw that video. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
Most of these guys are jocks and they can do that. I mean, case in point, you know how many people are in this tournament? How many people are in the PGA Tour? It's just a few hundred. Then there's thousands of golfers worldwide that are really effing good trying to beat each other to get on tour. And you and I can't even touch those guys. We don't even get to see those guys. Those aren't even the collegiate players. I mean, when it comes to, I mean, I've talked to some web.com guys before, and they're just like, they're grateful they made it that far. It's just so,
Yeah, it's
it's
brutal to make
become,
it.
it's just become such a tough thing. A lot of people may or may not know. I don't know the exact figures today, but back in the day when I think my buddy Joey Russell actually attempted to go to Q school about 15, 16 years ago, it's a 6-round event where there's a cut every single round. And when you tee it up, you have to cut a check as well to as an entry fee. And I remember back in the day, it was like $5,000-$10,000 a round. So you have to shoot like 70 or better, 6 rounds in a row, cranking up $7,000 checks every single time you tee off. I
With
think
all
he
the
quit after 2
pressure.
days because he didn't have any money. That's Q school is the often not talked about most difficult test in any type of sport. That's
Yeah.
why I love it when the tour pros get their tour card. I'm just like, yes, give them the millions of dollars in endorsements. They earned it, and it's not like they're leeching off society or screwing things up. There's only a few hundred of them.
No,
Screw it. I
exactly.
mean,
And the number 200th golfer in the world is probably like barely scraping by, trying to make it.
I don't know what that's a good statistic to look up maybe for another time, or we'll do it when we get off the pod here. But I do remember that in the year 2000, the number 100th money rank guy was Brant Job, and he made just shy of $1 million. Like he made like $957,000, and he was 100th on the money list.
So that's pretty good
And
though.
that granted that was 19 years ago. But I mean, if you could tell me in earnings, and he was a very average player, like he had his own contracting business on the side, but that's what you do. I
Well,
mean,
the top
I
125 make a lot. Anyone with their
of course.
card.
But then again, you got guys like Greg Norman who, like, regardless of how good or bad he was at golf, he would still own vineyards and helicopter companies. It just so happens he's really good at golf and he's kind of an athlete too. I mean, I maintain Greg Norman didn't need to win majors and he'd still be just as popular today. I mean, I was watching on. Oh, and by the way, everybody, if you want to watch good Masters coverage right now, YouTube is playing a lot of like the final round broadcasts from a lot of the Masters, 3 hours uncut. I just watched the 1986 Masters where Jack had his back nine charge, and it's just a lot of fun seeing what these people were wearing, seeing like the sponsorships. I have a 1984 Sports Illustrated from when I was born, and I like opening it sometimes because the advertisements are fun, like the cigarette ads, the home speakers, the cars. It's just look, wood paneling on everything. It's just such a weird time and place, and I don't know your thoughts. I mean,
Yeah, no, I knew the Masters was on. They have a bunch of the rounds on YouTube. I've watched mostly the recent ones, but I should check out some of the older ones. I haven't seen those guys hit very often.
I didn't realize because I never watched any of the real, except for the highlights of the '86 final round for Jack at Augusta. And a lot of people may or may not know that was his 18th major. He won at age 46, smashed a lot of records, yada 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 in that regard. But there was a great video. I get a lot of clips and videos of Seve Ballesteros because I'm friends with a lot of European folks in the golf industry, and there's this one shot that I knew was at Augusta. Didn't know what round, didn't know what year, but it's went on 13, my favorite hole at Augusta, when Sergio, no, excuse me, Seve, he had his tee shot, big tee shot, hit it right down in the middle. and then he striped a long iron. And I remember when you heard him hit iron shots, it sounded like two swords clashing. Like it was great. And when he hit this one shot, you could hear him say, like he wasn't mic'd up or whatever. You could hear him like whoosh, and then he goes fantastica, fantastica, and he starts marching after the ball. And he got it to like 5 feet for eagle or something like that. And I was like looking at my girlfriend going, that was the final round when Jack was storming up. Was the Fantastica shot? Oh, I didn't know that. That
The
could have been any
Fantastica.
Masters. That could have been any round of any Masters ever. And it was final Sunday of '86. So, and then I started watching the '97 one with Tiger. But then I stopped watching because I realized, oh yeah, he already had a 12-shot lead going into Sunday. I don't care. He only shot 70 on the fourth round. That's not stunning. Whereas his fourth round of the 2000 U.S. Open, I don't know what he shot, but he had no bogeys and a handful of birdies. He didn't shoot 70, I can tell you that much. So yeah, John Rahm and his caddy. That's unfortunate. Jim Furyk was really rooting for you, guy. You're still 48. I mean, he doesn't hit it very long, but he still seems to surface, like a turtle here and there.
Then there were two better than all but Tigers putts.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too. And you see that Vegas's was the longest recorded putt on 17.
Yeah,
I mean that's
I was surprised by that.
Given how Sunday pin placement is probably the most extreme in terms of dimension-wise, how you get the longest putt, that probably will be equivalent of in American NFL football. The San Diego Chargers had a defensive back named Antonio Cromartie. He's famous for having 8 kids with 8 different women, and or like 13 with 13. It's amazing.
I think it's 13 with 13.
Oh, so
or 13 with 8.
So anyways, we were playing I used to be a Chargers fan. We were playing the Colts on a Monday Night Football, and it was great because the Chargers scrapped with everybody. But when we played Peyton Manning and the Colts, we seemed to beat his ass. Like he would always throw 4 to 6 picks for some reason. It was glorious. And this was a game where they tried like a really long field goal, and they had Cromartie sitting under the crossbar. And I don't know if you know this, on a field goal, if it misses, you can receive the kick.
Well, because I'm from Canada, I don't know football.
Hey, I'm from America, and I barely watch the NFL because I'm just sick of it. Okay, I mean, I don't want to assume anything, man.
Yeah, we'll get to CFL rules later. That's even worse. But go on.
Well, I thought you're from the city. You don't watch that rural football league.
No, not much.
Okay, so anyways, long story boring. This putt that Vegas had to me is very much like so have you seen this play that I'm talking about?
No, so go on.
Specifically,
you gotta finish it.
So essentially, he stood in the back of the end zone with his foot at the very back edge that he could, and reached back to where it would be. It was under the crossbar, but it was like would have been going out of bounds. Grabbed it, proceeded to run all the way and take it to the house for a touchdown for what is technically the longest play that could ever exist and will never be broken, only tied in football history at 109 and a half.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
109
yards.
Exactly. So that's why I immediately thought of that when I saw Vegas, because when they measured it, I'm like, well, putt ever recorded, he was right there. That record ain't going to be broken ever again. I mean,
yeah, I guess you could be higher up. I think you could be like there was maybe 20 feet above him that you could have been, but even then it would have been pretty close to the same distance.
See, and for as much as we look at the 17th, I forget the contours half the time because they're always throwing a new camera angle on us every year where I'm just like, wait, what? Oh, we're looking at the backside this year. I mean.
Yeah, it was pretty close to as long as you could possibly have.
Anyways, that's good call. That's I like that. So what about Valspar? We got Valspar coming up here.
Yeah, so that should be pretty good. Not as many big names in it. A few guys heading back over. I think DJ, Sergio.
It's still bigger field than I thought because last year I distinctly remember the Valspars when Tiger like made a cut, remember, or something, or like he placed in the top 10 or was actually leading a tournament or something. I mean, it was. Excuse me. I was thinking of Valspar paint. I got a little gassy. Yeah, I really thought this was almost like the Honda Classic, so to speak, where it's just like, but if these guys are gearing up for Augusta, you got to get the tools sharp. So I'll give you my picks because they're stupid and simple for no reason whatsoever. I like DJ again as my favorite. That's what came out the machine, and he's at 11-2. However you want to slice that. I mean, he's. If you look at the numbers and crunch everything, he's going to be one of the top 3 favorites every single time he tees it up. I know I'm going to start sounding like a broken record or it might be unoriginal, but if you win 3 times, like let's just say I picked DJ to win every single tournament this year and he wins 3 times, that's incredible returns. I mean, depending on what you put down. And then my long shot for no reason whatsoever, but I'm sticking with an algorithm that I invented. Scott Stallings at 200 to 1. I've been watching his swing last year on Twitter. I don't know if he's pranking us because I asked my girlfriend, was he in a horrible car accident or something? Because he doesn't. He's said getting stronger, looking good, and I'm looking at swing, going, "This is Scott Stallings, right? The former PGA Tour pro. This is terrible." And then Genesis, he did pretty good. He's actually had a few strong showings, just surging up a little bit. So I like Stallings though, 201.
Yeah, he seems like he's been hitting it pretty well. He sort of came up from the dead the last year.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, why not? It's he's definitely they're gonna need to test his blood, urine, and hair soon because him and Brooks Koepka are about to go over the top in an arm wrestling contest. So who are you?
Yeah, so my favorite to win is Sergio. Got to go with him.
Yes.
Yeah, last year he ended up coming fourth. He shot 6 under in the fourth round. I think the winner was like -10 or something, maybe -9. So he clearly was able to go low. Besides
I
last week,
forgot about that.
oh yeah, he had a 9th and an 8th the 2 weeks before the Players. So
I guess I just blindly stumbled through because I was drinking the tiger juice, whether I was even wanting to or not. So what's Sergio going off at? I think I saw it was like 16 to 1
yeah,
or
he's
something.
16 to 1, 14 to 16 to 1, depending on where you're looking.
See, and that's the thing. That's why you and I were talking about. And I mean, we can share this. It's not like it's secret information. I mean, Odd Sharks is probably the most comprehensive in terms of getting a full field, which is very important. But then, if you were to Google this stuff, like you could just read it for yourself. I mean, it's CBS Sports dominates. I mean, they use the same crummy headlines or whatever. I happen to subscribe to a friend that I know deep in. Well, he's in the Tampa area in Florida, but that's all he tells me. He doesn't tell me much more, and he doesn't like to admit that much. But he's the one who helped me get 10 large on Florida Gulf Coast a few years ago in the Final Four. Hey, it's March again. But we only had the 2 picks each. That was it. Yeah.
No, so then I got my long shot.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm
My
sorry.
long
You had
shot coming in
Sergio
at 80 to
16 to
1.
1.
The Postman, JT Poston.
And why'd you pick him?
So partially because he has like the greatest nickname that's been overused in every single sport. And then
Really?
he's made 8 straight cuts, doing well.
Wait, the Postman
Or
is an
there's the
overused
Postman, there's
term.
the Mailman, there's the Milkman. It's always,
What are you
Melky Cabrera
talking
in
about?
baseball, he was the Milkman.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was with Toronto.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Milkman delivers.
You're kidding me.
No,
You're
I
kidding
swear.
me. Oh, I'm embarrassed I didn't know that, and I'm embarrassed that's real.
Come on, the
Oh
Milkman
no.
delivers.
Wait, you needed to stop. Okay, other than I thought you were screwing around. You were gonna say the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. I mean, other than Carl Malone, who's the mailman?
That's true. We only got them. We got one of
Yeah.
each sport. Okay.
Okay,
Moving on. He's
but for
got a good
postman,
nickname.
but yes, it's great. The postman is good. Nobody uses it as a proper noun, but in American basketball or the NBA, you can post up a lot and be a good postman. But that sounds like you're playing back with like Elgin Baylor back in the '60s or something.
That's true. And yeah, so he had a great
Postman,
start.
milkman. Oh, I walked right off a cliff on that one.
The Milkman
Oh my
delivers.
god.
Come on.
I feel so, you know what? The sad thing is, if I would have heard that before, I wouldn't be laughing so hard. Like I would have been like, "Oh yeah, there's those stupid T-shirts. I forgot.
Oh, it's so catchy.
I gotta go on eBay and find some."
You gotta find some Milkman shirts.
The milkman delivers. Oh, I want to. The first thing I'm doing when I'm getting off the pod is I'm baseball referencing his stats to see how he did in Toronto.
During his Milkman delivers phase, you could see there could be some
oh,
deep stats on that if he was better as the
oh,
Milkman or whatever
oh
else he
man, we.
became.
All right. Well, we. Okay, well, we don't want to take up too much more time, and we want to stick to golf. But Jesus, Pete, that's some good stuff. All right, so the postman with the. Okay.
Yeah, so the
All
Postman,
right.
he's got this.
Oh, excuse me.
80 to
Okay.
1.
You want to talk Masters at all a little bit? I mean, we are 4 weeks away exactly. I'm sure more of the same is going to shake out. Like Rory's still going to look as good. I mean, what say you in terms of
Yeah, so
Like, is there any speculation you want to make at this time? I mean, I haven't even looked at any lines yet. I could have. I know they're available, but I have not.
so I guess
But that being said,
this early into I guess 4 weeks before, we have some long shots that I would take some chances on.
oh yeah, name them. What do you got?
Who knows? In case I figure their odds won't get any lower or higher, depending which way you think of it. If they lose,
And if
and if they
but
win,
if you
it'll
get
shoot
in,
up.
well, if you get in now, yeah, I mean, you get in now exactly. So what do
Exactly.
you got?
So one guy like sort of real deep long shot at 300 to one's Dylan Fratelli, the South African.
Yeah, those are delicious.
He's been
Those
crushing
fratellis.
it out on the European tour. And we got like Kyle Stanley. He's in terrible form now, but last
Yeah,
year he
it's
was
true.
probably like 60 to 1. You're getting him now at 300.
Hmm.
Put $1 on that. Nice 300 coming back.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty good. Um, what I need to do, and what I'll do it before maybe for next episode, or at least before the Masters, is I'll try to find some props that aren't just players to win. Like we can see maybe what the over under for the cut line is. We can see what like my BS prediction on relative to par and how far away they are to the score.
Yeah, what do you think the
But
winner comes in at?
are you asking me right now?
Yeah.
I have no clue, man. The winner, they just pulled my pants down on Friday and played 36 more holes after that. So I'm like I said, I haven't even looked at any odds yet. Really,
Best
and I'm already
Canadian.
saying, and I'm I'm already starting to drink like the Kool-Aid still, where I'm just like DJ Rory. Why not? I mean, besides we don't know about DJ, like considering he was out last year, and like I want to see him play at Augusta.
I
I
know
almost forgot.
Tiger, I think he's still the favorite or second favorite behind Rory
Tiger's the
at
favorite.
like 12 to 1.
Oh, yuck. Oh, everyone abort. Oh, that's a
Oh, so he's
sucker.
the third
Oh,
favorite now. Rory's 8 to 1, DJ's 10 to 1, and Rose and Tiger.
don't say 12 to 1.
Yeah.
Say 15 at least.
14 to 1 here. Somehow Jordan Spieth is
Uh,
25 to 1, even though he can't make a cut. Jordan
Nobody's
Spieth
making
at
money on that, Jordan.
100.
You put money on Jordan Spieth. Nobody's making money on that this year. Not even the people taking your money.
Yeah. They need to move it to like 100 to 1 just to sucker people in.
Oh, those poor bastards. Oh, man. Tiger's that. I mean, good for Tiger, but it's just, why do that? What do you, I feel like Job on Arrested Development. Come on. I mean, what is Tiger? How does that move the needle in Vegas? I mean, you get everyone excited and whipped up into a frenzy. Nobody's going to make jack. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess
He
everyone
must.
still
He
bets
must
on
have.
him.
It's got to be the Tiger fan crowd. There's got to be that side of the gamblers too, where it's just like there's the Tiger men in the gambling community who probably always bet on him. Like, I mean, just cause. I mean,
Yeah,
just because it'll be a
exactly.
double glorious party when he wins.
It's
So,
like the Lakers in basketball, the Yankees in baseball. Their odds
oh
will always
goodness.
be a bit skewed because
Well, listen. Let's. I tell you what. Let's get to the. Let's
some
have you run the
questions.
question section here because we just got a few more minutes. We're trying to keep this brief for you so it doesn't cut off midway through like last time. We apologize.
Okay,
It's a
yeah,
work in
so
progress, and we're very happy to be the ones doing this. We love all the great feedback from you guys. It's been better than I thought. You guys are really really wonderful, and it's a lot of fun. Just bantering with you. That's the whole point, right? It's just the banter.
yeah, it's
So
been awesome. Get to learn a
so
little
what
bit.
a so we got most of these. I didn't get any questions coming on Facebook. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. That's embarrassing. But what did I know? We both got some questions. I got a little antsy when I was at the bar last night, and I started answering some. But what do you got over there?
Yeah, so we got from Andrew Catala. He asked, which golfer do you think you have the best chance of beating? So I guess for myself, I'll say none of them.
Like in a foot race or?
Yeah, in a foot race, lots of them. Well, probably not anymore. Maybe 20 years ago.
I picked Tim Herron. I can outrun his fat ass any day.
I could beat Barn Rat for sure.
Yeah, that poor sweaty guy. He's got such flop sweat out there, and I like him as a player, man. Don't be surprised if that guy wins a major like
I
in the
was
next
gonna
5
add
years.
him. He's
He's
like 250 to 1. I could see him
not
pulling one off.
hey, not too
Guy's got
shabby. I
game.
like that. Okay, so you
Remind
don't
me to get
think
back to
you
a story on him later. It's a good story.
on Barn Rat?
Yeah.
Okay, and I only say that because I don't have his name in front of me. Otherwise, I could read it properly. But
Kira Dekafi Barn Rat.
man, let me just pick that up that you dropped right there. That name, nice one. So you don't think there's anybody? Because I got one guy I think I can beat. But
So
It's not like John Daly if he has a 20 on a hole or something like that. I mean, because he still shot a good round that day. But
yeah, so I'm
there's
obviously
not.
not the good golfer of the two of us, but if I'll put it into context and go with which golfer I think could have the biggest blow up, and I'd have to go with Smiley Kaufman. That poor guy. He won once, and since then he shoots every round in the 80s.
Oh, the best thing that happened to me being one part of the Spring Break boys. So real quick, a thing I used to do as a kid was like anytime Arnold or like the old guys like Sandy Lyle would still play in the Masters, like when Arnie would go tee it up out there and shoot 84, when I'd have a tournament that day or practice round, I'd go try to beat that score sometimes and they'd be like, hey, I beat Arnold Palmer, but usually I didn't. But there's one tour player where if I'm playing aces, like we're talking, I can shoot like in the upper 70s, 78, which I've done a couple times before, no big deal. I
Not
could
a
take
big
Stephen
deal.
Bowditch down if he's like in one of his DUI years or phases. I'm not saying that as a negative pejorative. I'm saying the man has a history. It's very public. It's very sad, but he seems like a good time.
Well,
And
DUI years,
but yeah, if I
more.
catch him in the wrong wrinkle, like if like Kalkovicki said, he had bad decades and good decades. So if you catch him in the wrong time, that's half the battle. Is your opponent has to lose. You have to win. So if he can just lose, at life before we tee it up, and I shoot a 77, I could probably beat him. I
Yeah,
could
no, he was
probably beat
shooting
him.
in the 80s like more than half his rounds, which is crazy.
Well, I don't do that though. You don't do that. Though.
No,
I
but
just
for
thought
a PGA player, and he won.
if we get him like super hungover or something, I'd have a shot. So, anyways, yeah, that's Stephen Bowditch, and that's a total joke.
Okay,
Great
so
question, because oh man, that was a really good question.
next question. This one I could answer, I think, on behalf of both of us in one word. It was by at Leroy Jenkins 73. Will John Ram ever listen to his caddy? No, he will not. Then we
Well, the best
got
part is how he said that this is the new, more controlled John Rahm. It's like, okay, good. You're still not making correct choices though.
yeah, and the whole time on their coverage, they kept talking about how he's much calmer now. He's working with this bomb guy who I don't even I'm blanking on the word.
What's John Rahm's problem? What is he, like 23 or something? Jesus, he's acting like such a 23-year-old.
Yeah, and then
Anyways,
right
next
away he
question.
blows up. So now we got this question from Nolan, our guy. He said, "What are some rule changes you'd like to see added?"
Well, I didn't want to cop out, but I was really thinking about this today. I was even asking the guys I was caddying for and the other caddies. I was just like, what rule changes would you guys like to see? And we all kind of had the same one. Was we mostly wanted the flag stick rule changed. Other than that, who cares? Just let us know. But because I saw what happened to my golfer a few times today, I would very much like to change the rule about divots, because divots are man-made. And even though you may be a purist and you need to play the ball where it lies, unless you're a very, very good golfer, rolling into a divot is a penalty, and it's not fair. It's not your fault whatsoever for hitting into the fairway right in the middle of the
Yeah,
fairway like you were supposed to. You had your only good drive of the day, just to roll into a little trench that you're not even good enough to like look at hard enough to get out of the divot. So,
that's a
what
pretty
about you?
good one. Uh, I'm gonna go. This might be a bit of a hot take. I'm gonna go with the shot clock. Gotta
Ooh,
maybe give them a nice 2 minute shot clock, and if they go over, it's like a warning, like they've added in tennis. And second time, that's it, stroke penalty.
and there's you being the editorial genius that Zach is, in that he took something that applies, as we were saying, we should have two sets of rules. That would be a pro rule, not a regular, I don't want
Yeah,
to say
not a
amateur, but that's the
recreational rule.
difference. Not an, let's just call it amateur. Like, for the sake of, even though these don't exist, from here on out, just between you, us, and our audience nomenclature, I want to advocate for professional and amateur rules. That's it.
Yeah, no,
Because technically, any one of us is an amateur. If we go tee it up in a tournament, we're not making money. That little A goes behind your name because we're amateurs, not professionals.
that's
There
true.
should be different set of rules, and that one is good because that is perfect for the pros. It serves a lot of the purposes and troubles they need for TV time, et cetera, so forth, whatever issues they have logistically. And for us, it'd be kind of rude if somebody's dragging a shot clock around. Usually, if people see the marshal, they start sweating anyways. I mean, even if he's just out there to say, "Hey, how you doing?" But
No, if I'm playing with someone and they take like 4 practice swings, pose at the end, shout out Uncle Richie, he knows who he is. Then I will start throwing balls at you or just hit multiple of my own. Gotta
fair
take
enough.
it.
No, I get that, but I'll admit, at least in my circles, like the slow golfers, the few of them that there are, whether they know who you are or not, You will learn because nobody wants to play with you. And the hot take that I put up on Facebook years ago, I just said, it was probably my most liked comment ever. I said, if you're slow at golf, nobody likes you.
Straight to
And
the
I
point.
and real quick before we get to the next question, I do remember in terms of slow play, I did have one golfer who had the best overall like temperament and retort to a marshal who said we were playing slow, and he was being argumentative, my golfer, but not combative. Where he's like, listen, man, I get that I'm playing slow. We're not really going anywhere. We're waiting on the group in front of us. My wife tells me I'm slow all the time. This is how fast I play golf. So you can keep telling me to speed up, but I'm not going to. Have a nice day. And he might have called him like a sea sucker or something like that. But beyond that, I mean, I appreciate the temperament. Where it's like, yeah, he knows he's not the fastest at golf, so get off his ass, I guess. I mean, whatever. But I like yours. And what do we got next?
Yeah, so this segues perfectly to our last question by Adam Kovalt. He asked, "Who's the slowest player on tour?"
On purpose. It's JB now. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's at the Genesis. Like he was leaning into that. I mean, I said that word for word on Twitter. I mean, when he's plumb bobbing those 17-inch putts, I swear to God, he was smirking under that that little Ewok beard of his. But who do you? I mean, I have another one in mind. He doesn't really play active golf that much anymore. But who do you think?
Yeah, well, I guess for sure the slowest, we have a unanimous decision on JB. So I guess we'll go to second slowest. I feel like it's got to be like Kevin Na or something.
Hey, I mean, Kevin. Well, that we have video proof that he was being a little quick in the green, pulling his ball out of the cup this week.
Yeah,
But
now he takes it in good. Now he must be getting a lot quicker,
it's
I'd guess, after all his bad press. But sometimes he has problems pulling the trigger and all that.
That's true. I have heard that before. Yeah, I did say on Twitter how Padraig Harrington would frequently pace off yardages when he was around about 100 yards out. Like he would do that, and my argument was, like as I said, how do you know your pace is exactly a yard? Even if you're off by a few inches one way or the other, added up over 100 won't give you an accurate yardage that you're trying to seek by stepping out that whole way. So, was Ben Crane a slow golfer? I
That
know
I
Frank
can't tell
Licklider
you.
was fast. I think Ben was either one of those guys who was notoriously fast or notoriously slow.
What about
And
Phil?
given that he was outspoken, Phil will take some time to like think of like a creative like short game shot. But there's somebody who you remember how slow Sergio used to be back in the day?
Yeah,
Like I'm thinking
he's still
2002
pretty slow,
Bethpage US Open. He would sit there and grip and regrip for 55 to 60 seconds. They counted or whatever. I mean, we're getting on guys' cases for taking 90 seconds to finally hit the ball after like strategizing or whatever. Think of strategizing for 90 seconds and then gripping the club for another minute. I mean, oh my God, no wonder people hated Sergio even more. And he was flipping the crowd off in New York. It was magical. I mean,
Yeah, and I guess lastly we have DeChambeau. He takes a long time, but he's always
he
calculating.
does.
Who knows what's going on in his head?
Yeah, that's tough because I don't know. I think if you make him go any slower, it's going to change who he is as a golfer. And until here's the problem, and I know I'm just saying a mantra over and over and over. Until they penalize somebody, it's never going to be addressed. It's always going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So we're just almost at about an hour, Zach. How do you feel? I feel good.
I feel pretty good. I feel like we had a lot of improvement on episode 2, and
Hopefully, yeah.
we're getting there. You know.
Yeah, we do. Again, we are doing this over Skype, and I did, like the vain person that I am, listen to our podcast to see how the sound quality was. So we get it. That song that was in front of our podcast last time was surprising and delightful. I did not know it was going to be there, but it was fun. But everyone just stick around, stay on board. This is going to be a good time. I'm nervous every Monday morning now thinking about this, but I'm also excited at the same time. I mostly just want to be able to fill enough time in between the lines, and luckily I talk enough for the two of us that's not too hard for us. But
yeah, I guess lastly we have one more segment of our fun facts of Canada for the week.
Oh yes,
I'll give you the choice. Do you want a food fun fact or a geology fun fact?
Let's spoiler real quick. Is the food Putin related, like French fries and gravy?
First of all, it's not Putin, it's poutine.
Poutine, excuse me.
You don't eat the Russian leader, but
No, correct. Well, if the
no, it's
song's about
not.
poutine, teach me something new. Yeah, do the food one.
So, do you know that Canada consumes more macaroni and cheese than any other nation in the world?
Gross. More than America?
Yeah.
I thought we consume more crafted macaroni. Well, not crafted
No,
macaroni and
Canadians
cheese
are
in the
fat.
Midwest. Oh my god! You know what? I'm gonna go have a Stouffer's macaroni right now, just to try and tip the scales.
Just
No
to
pun
catch
intended.
up.
This way, yeah. Look, I'd love to do a random American fact, but I refuse. I'll tag on real quick to your random Canadian fact, folks. They have loonies and toonies up there. So when you go to a strip club, it is not encouraged to
To
tip the dancers because the ones and fives are in coin form, and that's
the
dangerous.
ones and twos.
And
Our
if
fives
you're
are in bills.
okay, but then again, if you're putting fives, tens, and twenties in the G strings, they're gonna like you because you may as well just light your money on
Yeah,
fire.
you cannot throw ones at the strippers. That's probably true, eh? Strippers here probably make much less than in the States.
Well, you guys got that healthcare, but as Daniel Tosh said, we make it rain with the bills, but you make it hail with the change. So
Yeah, exactly. So I guess lastly, we hope everyone liked it and subscribe
we're
and rate 5 stars.
yeah, we're on all platforms now. I only use the podcast app on my iPhone, and I go through iTunes, and I found it easy peasy. You can find us at www.fromthebacktees.com. That's where you can get in touch with our entire team, email, things like that. But
Yeah,
mostly for me, you can find me on Twitter at Jerry Lou Looper one.
one.
And Zach, where can we find you or talk to you easiest?
The at from the back tees.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is from the back tees. He
I
is
am from the
all
back
things from the
tees.
back tees. All right, that's good stuff, brother. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
No, I think that's it, and we'll get ready for next week. We'll give a more detailed look into the Masters.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a good week and stay in the fairway, be the ball, all the above.
Have a good one.